Hey guys, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 for the PlayStation 3. So now that I've redone some of Sonic's hard mode stages with the subtlety of a bulldozer going through a rainforest, it is now time to move on and do Silver's hard mode stages. And this time I am actually going to make sure that I do hit hard. Wait, let me rephrase that. I'm going to make sure that I do select hard mode. And, well, you guys already know that I don't like playing as Silver. So, as you can imagine, this is going to be even worse. We already know the stages go on for a longer period of time. And unfortunately with Silver, that can really mean that these stages go on for a long period of time. They will have you fight even more enemies. They will have you fight even more of the big enemies that take a lot of hits to kill. And as such, some of these stages can go on a good twice as long as they did in their original runs. I am not kidding when I say that it usually takes me about 20 minutes to do Flame Core. And it doesn't help that it's got pretty strict S-rank time as well. So, all of the problems I have with Silver, thank you for not hurting me this time. All of the problems I have with Silver in regular mode are even worse here. And I barely avoided that car. Because as we know, that tornado is still carrying a car. That tornado will forever be carrying cars. But what's creating this tornado? Why can't we get rid of it? I would say I walked into a parked car, but that was clearly not a parked car. But it was at some point. We never see anything get sucked into that tornado, do we? We always see things coming out of it, but we never see anything actually go into it. And how come these bits of debris don't melt in the lava, including that car? So does Iblis just have the ability to create lava? Because otherwise, yeah, we can just only assume this is Soliana, despite the fact that the hub worlds look like the entirety of Soliana, so I don't know where all this is in the hub world. So, was all this lava just secretly in the ground, or is Iblis just capable of creating not only fire, but lava? I mean, he's made of molten rock himself, so the fact that he can create fire doesn't surprise me at all. But how come the ground is now covered in lava? And how come only certain things melt the lava? Like, all of these buildings are still standing. The lava is clearly underground. And I know that's often how it's portrayed. There is lava underground. You know, the closer you get to the planet's core, the hotter it gets. But this isn't exactly very far underground. It's about, I don't know, well, how far would you say that is? 20 meters? So, well, depends what bit of land it is, because that's clearly much more than 20 meters, but it's like, how come, what is the cause of all of this lava? Well, the destruction, I get. Maybe Iblis is just magical. You know, Mephiles is magical. Why can't Iblis be magical? They're the same being. We've seen Iblis and Mephiles are one and the same. Or Silver doesn't find that out until, well, pretty much Aquatic Base is when they find out. I don't know how Shadow finds out of it. Right? How did Shadow find out that Mephiles and Iblis are one and the same? It's like he already knows. I could be wrong. I'm just misunderstanding what he's saying. He's like, and the Black Shadow is the original Mephiles. It's like he just sees it and then he assumes, okay, that's clearly Mephiles. Granted, it looks like Mephiles. That is how he first saw Mephiles after he got out of the Scepter of Darkness. It's just a puddle of black goo. Why can't that destroys him when I fire it at him? Why couldn't that destroy him then? So, I don't know why that... I don't know how exactly if that's how just Shadow guessing. Or if he just somehow originally found out. But in the end, it doesn't matter. And that is your pun for the day. Whoa! It's a good thing his fire breath isn't that long. If that was a stalker, he would have hit me. Now they have to shoot lasers. Because by the power of Superman, only through... Good shot there, sir! Only through their mouth. That sounds terrifying, actually. What would that be like, having a laser for a mouth? Or a laser in your mouth? That sounds like it would hurt. It sounds like it would hurt a lot. Sadly, I don't actually know if they existed at that time. I don't think they did. But I would have loved it if they made the sound effect for the laser collection. Just every single time one of the stalkers fires its laser, or if one of the robots fires laser, mostly the stalkers though, they just go BAH! And then suddenly Dr. Octagonopus just appears. Dr. Octagonopus, BAH! And thus the story was over. That was how Sonic 06 ended. When this random creature just appeared, shouted his name, and fired a laser at Silver's face. That was the alternative ending to Sonic the Hedgehog. But it isn't the ending we got. Unfortunately, Silver's story had to continue, as did the main story. And I really hate this game's story, so... That's... Well, no, I guess I could just get into that now. Blaze, that's supposed to be a homing attack! Why didn't you home in on him? Actually died in Blaze's section. Yeah, oh, you can't homing attack, but you can go off of a dash ramp without even touching it. Is that right, Blaze? Is that how this works? Yeah. But anyway, when it comes to like comparing this story to other stories, story has never been a strong point for the series in general with 3D games. Since Sonic Adventure, they've really wanted to make things more story focused. The result being an adventure, not great. In Adventure 2, better, but you know, it's more entertaining. But it's still filled with a load of plot holes. Heroes, minimalistic, but you know, at the same time I think Heroes has one of the better stories. It doesn't take itself seriously, it's not trying to be all moody and dark. And there's, the fact that there's barely any story there, yeah, Team Dark is a little bit incomplete. And unfortunately that raised some issues involving the next game, which has a horrible story. You know, that's about as... Sonic 06 is still as bad as it gets, but that's not to say that Shadow the Hedgehog still isn't a really bad story. Oh, now I don't hit that. I think it's placed further back. But I really hate Shadow the Hedgehog's story. It's so unnecessary. They tried to make it all dark and edgy, failing in every single possible way, giving us our popular internet meme, Owl the Edge. Whoa! Oh no! Not again! There's no checkpoints in this section either. Oh, there was. God, I'm stupid. I like Dory. I have a short-term memory loss. When does Finding Dory come out anyway? I don't watch that many animated movies anymore unless they end up becoming some sort of adult animated movie. Whenever we get our eventual Family Guy film, that'll be an instant flop. That'll be a must-see. Please. Thank you. I thought she was going to fall off. But we don't have our Family Guy movie yet. I mean, if they ever make a sequel to the Simpsons movie, I will definitely see it. But I generally don't watch adult... I generally don't watch cartoons very much. I don't even remember what I was originally saying now. Oh yeah, why I hate the story. Well, I hate Shadow the Hedgehog's story, but this one I think is worse, because it's so overly complicated. Shadow the Hedgehog is filled with loads of plot holes, like why is the moon whole? Or are we just looking at it from the other side, according to, I think was it Takashi Tezuka? I don't remember, but he said that from here onwards, we're always looking at the other side of the moon. Why are we honouring Gerald after he tried to kill us all? Why is Shadow suddenly remembering what Gerald said to him when we all of a sudden enter Gun Fortress? We've obeyed Black Doom the entire time, maybe. And now Shadow is suddenly reminding himself of who Gerald is. Despite the fact I don't think Gerald appeared at all during the story. Well, you know, he wasn't. Well, he might have been mentioned maybe 1 or 2 times. And like, why is the Gun Commander angry at Shadow when it was clearly Gun who destroyed everybody aboard the Ark? And if that's the case, why the hell are you now the commander of Gun? That's so stupid. Okay. I didn't see the dust there, but that is the #1 reason I hate the Gun Commander. I don't like him anyway, but that is my #1 reason. But with this game, it's like the characters make such stupid decisions sometimes. Silver, this weird demon-looking creature with no mouth, has the ability to travel through time. So do you not think he maybe would have done something about it before? He is deliberately ignoring your questions about whether or not it's the right thing to do to kill somebody. So why are you not doing something about it? Blaze, why are you just standing there? You've said that Silver can be naive. I'll have to grab my dictionary to look up what naive means, but you've said before that you know that he is naive. And I know that's not a good thing. So why don't you do something about it instead of simply standing there? Come on guys, die. They give me points, they're continually respawning variety. Oh! Gravity! Fly through gravity! But this... why doesn't Silver travel with Sonic to rescue Elite after Kingdom Valley? He travels, I'll say, back to the future, and look, lo and behold, nothing has changed. Now, what was that? Oh. But he doesn't seem to question that. He doesn't seem to question why Iblis is clearly still there. Because that obviously means Sonic failed, but he doesn't seem to realise that. So why didn't he just go with... Why didn't he just go with him? Why didn't he just go with Sonic? Why didn't Shadow take the Scepter of Darkness back to the future with him after Aquatic Base? That way, Eggman wouldn't have gotten his hands on the Scepter of Darkness, meaning that Rouge wouldn't have dropped it, and therefore Mephiles would not have been released. Now, that will cause all sorts of time paradoxes that I'm not going to get into, which is why time travel hurts my head. But I still question that. It's such a stupid decision. And for a game called Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic really doesn't have anything to do with the story. All Sonic does is just keep rescuing Elise from Eggman. He travels to the future, he sees what the future looks like, and then he doesn't do anything. Tails says, how can this be our future? He's seen that the future has this giant monster in it. He's seen that the whole city's on fire. And then he doesn't do anything. After that, it's just, okay, now we gotta rescue Elise again. I don't care about what I just saw. That doesn't mean anything to me. I'll just leave that to Shadow and this guy who's trying to kill me. We don't question any of that. We don't... Okay. I do also wish that Sonic and Mephiles had at least one encounter. Because if we see in the cutscene, Sonic sees Mephiles. Knuckles mentions he looks like Shadow. Who was that guy? He looked just like Shadow. But nothing comes out of that. I would have liked a reason as to why Mephiles is wants Sonic dead. I mean, we know it's because he wants Elise to cry, and he knows if Sonic dies, that will cause Elise to cry. Again, I don't know why he needs to send Silver out to do that, considering that he is perfectly capable of doing it himself, as, spoiler warning, we see in the final story. I don't think I really need to say spoiler warning when a game is 10 years old and everybody on the internet moans about it. So why doesn't Mephiles just go and do that himself? Because he somehow saw that Elise liked Sonic, but he somehow didn't see that Silver would go against his wishes. And I don't understand that in the slightest. I also have a question as to who actually named Mephiles. Did Mephiles name himself, or did Shadow do it? Because Mephiles just introduces himself as Mephiles. But it's like, did he hear that when Shadow travelled back in time? Did Shadow give him the name, and even though Mephiles technically gave the name to Shadow? What is the truth? I'm going to stop thinking about it because I hate time travel. You can say all the positive things you want about Back to the Future. I mean, with Back to the Future, I still get lost with those. I mean, Back to the Future, the original isn't so bad, because you're only time traveling once. And Back to the Future isn't so bad either. I got completely lost with Back to the Future 2. I know that one is considered to be the weak one of the three, but I just got totally lost with Back to the Future 2. It's this constant back and forth and back and forth. But let's face it, those films, great films as they are, well, two of them, they still have a lot of problems. Ugh, that keeps getting too close. But time travel has so far appeared in a total of 4 Sonic games. And Sonic CD didn't mean anything. All we had to do was just create a good future. In the end, it didn't really mean anything. All it was just Eggman would either have control of Little Planet or he wouldn't. And then, well, then it was Sonic 06. And then it was Sonic Generations. You know, that plot also involves time travel. But it's had the complete opposite of 06, because there's barely any story whatsoever. I do still question why Crisis City is there, because it really shouldn't be there. But overall, you know, that story, I can't help but feel there isn't enough of it. Because I think it would have been a great opportunity to make fun at previous installments. They even took out a cutscene that was supposed to be after Crisis City. I wonder if that was because maybe they questioned what Crisis City was and that would have caused too much confusion. I don't know, but, you know, why can't we have a cutscene after every stage? We had a cutscene after Green Hill Zone. Sonic mentions that it's familiar to him, Tails doesn't, because he wasn't in Green Hill Zone, even though I'm pretty sure we're actually running through Emerald Hill Zone, because those are clearly corkscrews at the end. And then they both recognize Chemical Plant Zone. And that's as far as it goes. They don't make reference to anything else after that. They don't make references to the boss fights. They don't make references to the other levels. They don't make references to, you know, during the rival fights. They don't mention, you know, this looks Shadow. This looks familiar. Didn't we go through this before? And I kind of would have liked it if they did a little bit more with that. But they don't. And I really wish they did. This Generations story is still a hell of a lot better than what we got with 06, but it's way too minimalistic. And, well, Secret Rings didn't really have... Secret Rings also had its plot holes. It's like, if Eraser Jin wants these world rings, why is he trying to stop Sonic from getting them? Hedgehog, I want you to gather the 7 world rings for me. As such, I will summon a beast that has a world ring in them, a world ring inside of it, and make sure it kills you, even though you have already been in the process of gathering said world rings. So, do you want the world rings or not? I don't know, I'm just having too much fun, causing all sorts of mischief to the Arabian Nights. What do you? I don't care if I've been asking Shara to get them. Ow. You have gathered the 7 world rings for me. Have you not, Shara, my dear? There isn't really anything wrong with Secret Ring's story, it's just a bit too on the bear side. And Bark the Polar Bear isn't even in that game. Oh, come on. It was right there. Thankfully these spiked ball things can destroy the statues as well. I'm just going to go to this one. Oh, that was close. And then Black Knight's story, that contains attempted suicide. And I really don't feel comfortable having that in a Sonic game. Everything else about that story is okay. I love Unleashed story. Colors, I still think it's the best. Lost World is better than Generations. I still would like a little bit more information on what exactly is going on. Oh. Wait. I'm sure I activated that. Why is this door not opening? Door? Door? If you walk up to the door, it will surely open. Why was that not the first idea? But anyway. And then we have our final time travel story, Sonic Boom. You know, the time travel really doesn't mean anything, it just makes me question how Lyric finds Sonic Spin Dash to be predictable. It's like 1,000 years later and you're still predictable. You saw him do it once, Lyric, and you didn't predict it then, so... And how do you... If you've been, like, a stone figure for 1,000 years, how do you know that it's been 1,000 years? Are you just, like... Are you still conscious in there, just counting the days? Otherwise, how do you even know it's been 1,000 years? And how can Sonic still be predictable if you've only ever seen him do something once, and you couldn't predict it then? It's pretty much as far as it goes with time travel in that game. But everybody seems to question why Quincy was with Lyric, but other than that, yeah, the time travel really doesn't play a very big role in Rise of Lyric. I don't know if there's any time travel at all in Shattered Crystal. And I'm pretty sure there's no time travel in the Rivals games. The overall story is just something that the Sonic series has not been very strong with. And I don't mind having multiple stories to get a final ending, as long as those stories actually do something. With Sonic Adventure, that game has 6 stories, but chaos really doesn't mean anything in any of them. And these are really not good enemies for Amy. Is Sonic and Tails encounter chaos? Yes. Look, how am I supposed to kill this guy? Thank you. Sonic and Tails encounter chaos. Sonic fights him 4 times in this story. He fights Chaos 0, Chaos 3, Chaos 0, Chaos 4, and Chaos 6. Okay, so he fights Chaos 3 times. But it doesn't mean anything. The entire story is just Sonic going after Eggman. Tails is the same thing, with a bit of self-confidence building. And Knuckles is just trying to gather the pieces of the Master Emerald. Amy doesn't encounter chaos at all. Gamma doesn't encounter chaos at all. Big encounters him once at the very end. Kick to the face. Invisibility frames. So, this is apparently supposed to be the main villain, but nobody really seems to be all that worried about Chaos other than Tikal, who is doing a very bad job at informing everybody that Chaos is going to attack. Why not just, if you're going to send them, if you're going to make them, I'm not sure if they're having visions or what's going on, but if you're going to make them do that, why not just take them back to when Chaos attacked? If you did that in the last story, you finally got the idea to do that. And Adventure 2 just has many plot holes, like why did Gerald do this, why did Gunn go after him, what was the cause of all of that. Oh! I really hate that. Heroes, I would have liked a little bit more context on Metal Sonic, but that is about it. That is my only big flaw with Heroes. That is
short and simple. Yeah, Team Sonic are after Eggman because he sent them a threatening letter. Team Rose are searching for Froggy and Chocola. Team Chaotix have been asked to fulfill the requirements of somebody who will then pay them. And according to Vector, they also have to pay the rent for their detective agency. And there's a little bit more story for Team Dark, but it really doesn't go anywhere. Like, you have no past to remember. I wonder what the Doctor really meant. And that's where it ends. It just ends after that. Shadow still questions what Eggman was saying at the beginning of Hang Castle, and that is it. He finds a Shadow android on board the Egg Albatross. We're not going to question that now. Rouge finds a whole room full of them, but it still doesn't mean anything. Omega confirms that is clearly the real Shadow. He said, you know about cloning. The original must exist somewhere. So if you have to clone someone, there has to be an original. Which is clearly the Shadow we've been travelling with. So where does the whole neutral story of Shadow the Hedgehog come into play then? And since that ending is technically non-canon, does that mean that we ever actually see the Shadow androids in action in terms of the main continuity? I don't think it does. Because it's supposed to be non-canon. I'm just going to ignore these guys. And now we have spiked balls on this ball puzzle. I have a feeling that's going to get knocked off the wall into the pit. Yeah, no it's not. Alright, some of these pits are also considerably bigger. So, do be aware of that. Come on. Camera getting stuck on the walls. At least the ball's going where I want it to. Not anymore. It's gonna go into the pit. I've gotta be careful here. Nope! But to me, Colors is still the best story. It gets the humor right. It gets the mixture of dark and light-hearted storytelling perfect. Complete with great voice acting, which is another thing that the Sonic series has not exactly been all that great with. But Sonic Colors, I think, has the best story. I'm actually completed that a hell of a lot faster than before. And again, look at the size of that time bonus. Again, that is not there in very hard mode. This so-called very hard mode. It's still challenging to get through that room because there's now a load of bottomless pits everywhere. But that is not there in very hard mode, and I really question why. But anyway, want a good story, Sonic Colors. Want a bad story, Sonic 06. That is all I need to say. So, next time on Sonic the Hedgehog 2006, we will be continuing with the hard mode stages of Silver the Hedgehog. So, I will see you guys then.